survivors feel safe enough to open up to you? Was there any like skills that you were taught or?
Well, I think, as I said earlier, that unconditional regard, that clients would pick it up, that I don't care what you say, I still think you're wonderful, because I do.
So is that like a technique like Gestalt therapy or like what's the other one?
There is a name for it, and I can't remember what. Humanistic.
Oh, okay.
Is it humanistic?
I never heard of that before,
Yeah.
but and that reminds me of you recommended the Road Less Travel, that every client should, or every survivor should read that book. So I want
everybody.
Everybody. So I want to be the perfect Lynne client. So I read it 5 times.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, over the years. You should see my copy. It's just all beat up, tape and everything. But he was brilliant, and his work was brilliant.
Absolutely.
And he was on my bucket list of someone I wanted to meet before I died, but he died rather young. But anyway, his legacy in that book lives on. And one of the things I remember that this conversation reminds me of is that he had to extend love to his clients for them to get better, and they would feel that love. And I always felt that with you.
Oh,
of course.
Good. Yeah.
And we were also talking about.
But it's also genuine. It's not something that you're not acting.
Yes.
You know, it really is a positive regard for people.
Right. And I feel that this compassion, I know we also talked about the idea of, I physically was in your office all the time, but nowadays some of the counseling is done through Zoom calls. And so there's not that physical contact. But my experience was when I finished up one of my clients, we were both in tears. And she was saying, "I love you, Maggie." And I was like, "I love you." It was just so, and she said, "You have totally changed my life. And like, I'm so grateful for you." And it was just so wonderful.
Yeah.
So I believe that even though it's not, physical, you're in an office with me or something, I think it can really have a profound effect on people.
I do too.
And especially, well, nowadays, a lot of things are done via Zoom or whatever. So the other question on here, okay. So if you were to give one piece of advice to somebody like I was when I first met you, that's struggling with past trauma, they're raising kids, and they wanted to, what would that be? Your advice to them?
One piece of advice. I would encourage them as much as I could to go through the therapy. And that was my client, and she was really a basket case. I will go as slow as we need to go.
Right.
Sometimes you're going to have to grit your teeth and just talk about it. But if it's overwhelming you, okay, we'll move on to something else. And just to encourage them that you can get through this. I promise you can get through it.
Right.
You just need to bite the bullet and talk about it.
Yeah.
Especially not only what happened, but your feelings.
Right.
How it impacted you and your self-esteem. How did it affect your view of yourself? And just to talk about it, because that's how you get it out of your system, by putting it into words.
Right.
And it just comes out. And they're, for most people, a great relief, just having someone they can tell.
When I was doing my healing work, I did a lot of work outside of our visits.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of.
I know you did.
And I think that was a huge
Benefit.
to me. And I would bring stuff that I learned into counseling with you. And like one of the books I was reading, I think, when I was seeing you, well, of course, was Scott Peck, The Road Less Traveled. But then I got a hold of the Bowlby books that were about separation and loss when children were very young, because part of my issues were deep-seated abandonment issues because of being put in foster care when I was young. So anyway, so can you talk a little bit about the importance of maybe maybe a person's going through counseling, but they also have like my course, or they have some books that they're going to do this additional work.
Yeah,
in
whatever they
addition
can do,
Yeah.
whatever they can find that would be helpful on the subject. Because again, as we were talking earlier, 2 or 3 people may be talking about the exact same thing,
Right,
but the way it's phrased
right,
by one particular person, it resonates. So, yeah, reading books, whatever kind of program you can get into. And then it's valuable to bring that back into therapy
right,
and talk about, say, well, I read this or I heard that,
right,
and it really had an impact on me, and just talk about
right,
what you learned outside of therapy.
right.
Yeah.
And in those books, a lot of times they are therapists writing these books. So you're learning. I remember the book by Renee somebody, but it was called Repressed Memories. And I got a lot out of that. Sometimes I would just go to a bookstore and look in the self-help psychology books, and just something would just like jump out at me. And I know that book was one of them. I was like, oh, this is really interesting. So when it triggered me. So, but I got to the point where I wasn't that afraid of triggers.
You weren't that afraid of
triggers. Like I knew that, I was just building this, like I had a lot of tools in my toolbox. Like I was constantly building tools to deal with harder and harder stuff, I think.
It's the bumps.
Yes, the bumps. Yeah, everything's tying back here. That's good. So I thought to end this, I would review some of the lessons that I learned from you that I'm so grateful for. And some of the things came up in our therapy sessions. I remember one where I would say something and you would say, is that in your head or is that in your gut? Do you remember that? Yeah. That was, that just taught me to trust my intuition. And it was good. I could ask, and I remember this is not even on there. I remember sometimes you would say, how old are you?
Oh, yeah.
That was very helpful.
Yeah.
And right away, and you also taught me, that's not on here either, is the free association kind of stuff. And to not be afraid of just maybe writing it down, but just thinking, like, what's coming to my mind without judgment, without, don't label it, don't, build a story around it. It might be something really weird that's coming up, but if you look at it, it might be, and sometimes it kind of like forms into a daydream, actually, like you're creating this whole, thing or whatever. It's just threads of truth that I think come through. Okay, the other thing I have here is you always reminded me that things weren't all bad, or else I would have been dead. So it's true, because if your parents are like 100% evil, you're just not going to survive.
Yeah.
I mean, there was love there, regardless of how dark you would always remind me that there was love. So
Right.
that taught me to see the silver linings, and always look on the bright side, and always feel hope. So I learned, how to do all that. Then another thing you taught me was to back burner things. When I first started seeing you, we were financially like a train wreck. And I always wanted to work on my finances, but you would always tell me, no, you have to back burner that this is more important.
Right.
And there will be a time in your life when you can pull it off. And it actually happened. And I was like, okay, here we go. And I've done very well with my finances now because I have the capacity, the bandwidth. I don't have the trauma anymore stopping me from, anything.
That dark cloud has drifted away.
Yeah. So that's been nice. I remember you used to always say, how else could you have handled that? And that would get me to come up with alternatives to how, and it was very important for me to have you because I was raising little kids. So, and my, what do you call that? My role model was my mother, and she was very mentally ill. So I didn't have a good role model. And so I'd always come to you and go, oh, my Aaron did this, Allison did that. So, and then you'd go, how else could you have handled that? So,
Yeah.
The other thing was, well, I already mentioned the road less traveled. And then I wrote that you love me unconditionally because you were like, I could say anything to you. So that was good. And you'd always say, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater.
Right. And
that things are shades of gray. They're not just, I think trauma survivors, they have that built in, like black or white, Oh, and the other thing you taught me was that in our crazy families, black was white and white was black. Everything was, like there was an elephant in the room and everybody was walking around it. Like, oh no, there's no problem here. I was like, wait a minute. I remember years ago, there was a Phil Donahue show and they had a counselor on there that was talking about incest or trauma. And this girl, she stood up. She goes, there's no way I can confront my parents about this. They'll go crazy. And the guy right away goes, they're already crazy. I was like, yeah. Oh, that was so good.
Oh, that is good.
Yeah. Yeah, the black and white, silver wines. Okay. And then when I look back over my entire healing journey, it's like so many things go back to you. And I'm so grateful.
Well, I'm so happy. I'm really happy that I was of assistance. But you did the work.
Yes, I know, but
You did the work.
yeah, but there's so many people that didn't work for me, and that
We just connected.
yeah, you were a blessing. So I'm just always grateful. So I had this letter. I'm gonna try to do this. Okay. I just want to say thank you. You helped save my life. You helped me get through years of panic attacks and depression. You were like a mother I never had. You loved me. You listened to me. You let me bring all my stuff to you every single week. You helped piece together my shattered life. When I didn't know how to do it myself. Now I have a peace of mind I never dreamed possible. And now because of you, I get to guide others on that same path. helping them leave trauma land behind.
Oh, thank you. I want to say again that I'm glad I helped facilitate your growth, but you're the one who did it.
Yeah.
You're the one who did it.
Yeah. And I was just telling my son the other day, he said something about you're so smart or something. And I said, you know what? Years ago, I would have never dreamed that this brain was on the other side of all this. I never dreamed that I would have this peace and this intelligence and this power
And this courage.
and courage. And I'm very courageous, and I do a lot of things, even though I move out of my comfort zones. I know that something's gonna just make me shake in my boots, but I'll stand up and just do it.
And you know what? Something I just thought of is that I bet that the work you did to get over your own personal trauma, agony, pain, you developed skills and a confidence that you could do things if you wanted to do it.
Right.
You could do it.
Right.
And you find a way to do it.
Right.
Yeah. And I think you're amazing.
Oh,
Really. I mean, look at what you've done.
I know. I know.
I mean, the crocheting, the B&B,
Yeah.
and now this fantastic program you put together.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah.
it's, I think, all the skills and self-confidence
Yeah.
you gained from all the hard work
Right.
that you went through.
Right.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
Yeah. Yeah, I just faced the what do they call that? That you face your demon.
Dragon?
Yeah, I slayed the dragon.
Yeah.
Really, it was terrifying sometimes, so terrifying to go in those dark holes. But no, my whole body would be like, oh, what is this? And I would just sit with it and I would go into it. I feel like that, me developing that ability to do that is like one of the biggest keys to how I got
I think so too.
It's like, because I never read about doing that. But I kind of pieced it together a little bit with some other stuff, but I never concretely, knew that that's what I want. I would just started doing it. So, and it was just like,
Well, again, if you could get over what you got over,
yes.
if you could get it that first
Yeah,
bump
I
in
went
the
way
road,
up there.
Yeah, you just, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's great.
Yeah.
I'm very proud of you.
Yeah. And you know what it is now too? It's like nobody can knock me down. Nobody can make me feel bad because I know
You're okay.
Yeah, and I'm okay, but I just know how amazing I am and how amazing I was, and it was never not true that I'm amazing. That was never true. All the stuff that I was, raised to think about myself, and because of our situation and everything, none of it was true. And I wasn't crazy. Like, I felt like I was crazy, but I was not crazy.
Right.
So, and now it's almost like a part of me is like, I'm showing everybody I'm not crazy, like, so.
No, you're not only not crazy, but you're innovative. And again, it's the courage and the ability to think out of the box and the determination.
Right.
Like, I'm going to do this.
Right. Yeah.
And then doing it.
Right. Yep. So, yeah, I just wish I had another lifetime. Don't we all?
Well, some people believe you do.
Maybe my legacy will live on for that. I mean, that'll be me. I don't know how to say that. But
Well, I'm hoping that the right people get a hold of the program you've developed and that they use it and it will be successful.
right.
And then that will be your gift to the world.
Yeah. My gift to trauma survivors.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember years ago, I used to think I wanted to have I was thinking, wouldn't it be nice to have a counseling center where what do you call that? I screen the counselors so that somebody doesn't have to go,
Oh,
to 20 to find,
yeah.
and I would hire all these Lynns.
Yeah.
So anyway, okay, I think we're done.
Okay.
We're done.
Well, it was.
Do you have anything more to say? I'm just gonna go ahead.
Let's see. Well, I think you are the proof that if someone is willing to tackle their issues, that they could come out the other side free to develop their talents.
Right.
Because the talents have been squished down because of the trauma, and the energy focused on the trauma
Right.
doesn't give room for the creative abilities that you have.
Yeah.
And so the key is to just deal with it. Just deal with it.
Yeah.
Get help and deal with it. And you'll be so glad.
Yes. And I remember one other lesson I could have written on that list was you'll expend more energy in your lifetime trying to hold the trauma down than you would just going to therapy.
And letting it go.
Yes. Yeah. And I don't know what it was about me, but you never had to tell me not to come in, or you never had to worry about me not showing up. At least.
Well, you were determined.
Yeah.
You said you're going to yourself, I'm going to get through this.
Yeah.
I'm going to do what I have to do.
Yeah. Yeah. But
To
you
get
have to, I put that in my course too. You just have to make the commitment that no matter what, like I had a way of saying it, but no matter what, you stay on the mission. Like, oh, I know what it is. The mission becomes more important than any of the pain that you have to go through, because you always have your eyes on the mission. It's just like, okay, whatever I got to do, whatever black holes I have to go down, whatever thing I have to talk about that I'm uncomfortable about, whatever makes me nervous or scares me, I need to look at it and just keep going.
I think of it as your willingness to deal with it.
Yeah.
And the word is deal.
Yeah.
I will deal with this.
Yeah.
It's horrible. I hate it. But I can deal with it, and I will. I'll
Right.
find a way
Right.
to deal with it.
I didn't want my kids to go through that crap. I didn't want them to go through that hell. And I said, no matter what, my kids are not going through this shit. No. For 90% of that is true, because I wasn't a perfect parent, but
There are no perfect parents.
I know, but
There are no perfect people. And that's fine. Thank God there aren't.
right.
Because if they were, then the rest of us would feel really inadequate.
Yeah.
Somebody's perfect.
Yeah. And I think too that some people, like for me, they develop some specialized talents inside the trauma. Kind of like there's a saying that says, those who go without go within. So a lot of very creative people and a lot of very successful people have a trauma background.
Right.
So it's interesting.
Like Van Gogh.
Yeah.
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 It's, Yeah, it is interesting.
Yeah.
But maybe it's Scott Peck's book, Life is Difficult. That's the first sentence
Yeah.
in his book.
Yeah.
And if things are too easy for you, and I think about this with raising kids, if you make it all too easy, you get those roadblocks out of their way, you're not doing them a favor because they're not learning
Yeah.
how and that they can
Right.
tackle what comes in,
Right.
on in the future.
Right.
So it's better that they learn under the protection of their parents' roof
Right.
to deal with it. You know, you got to
Right.
deal with this, and I'll help you,
Yeah.
but I want you to figure out ways that you can make it better,
Right.
or ways that things you can say to yourself to comfort yourself to get through whatever it is. And that actually, that not being perfect is a really good one.
Right.
That you give yourself permission not to be perfect, because nobody is.
I remember you saying that kids that are raised where they're handed everything on a silver platter are sometimes worse off than a kid that's gone through trauma, because even though, through the trauma, you do learn some coping skills, like how to cope with the trauma, how to live with the trauma, always in the background and stuff. And I also think that the creativity comes in because you have to create a world inside your mind where I had to feel safe. So I could go inside my mind and create this, just be creative. And I was always like, I was good in arts and so I would just go with, I had a fantasy world, like I actually believed, I think I was in third grade, that the knight in shining armor on the white horse was coming to get me anytime. And I envisioned the horse. But that never happened, of course. But I think I actually probably played that out in some relationships where I thought that was going to happen. But
And your knight in shining armor fell off his horse because he wasn't perfect.
well, it was actually me. So
Yeah.
he helped
The
me.
other thing that I remind myself that it's okay not to be perfect, because nobody is. The other thing is, there's no one in your life who will be exactly the way you want them to be. No one, not a parent, not a child,
Right.
not a spouse, not a friend. No one's going to be exactly the way you want them to be or wish they would be. But the good news is you don't have to be exactly the way somebody else wants you to be either. You get to be who you are.
Right.
And you give them permission to be who they are. You don't expect them to be perfect. And it's reasonable for you to say to yourself, don't expect me to be perfect
Right.
or be exactly the way you want me to be, because
Right.
I can't.
Right. To believe the same things. And
So it's
that's a timely conversation right now.
okay.
Oh, funny.
So, it's like when a friend disappoints you.
Yes.
Well, she can't be exactly the way you want her to be.
Right.
She's going to be who she is.
Right.
And you like her because of these other things.
Right. And also, there's always going to be, like life will never be a bowl of cherries.
Life will never be
a bowl of cherries.
a bowl. Oh, my brother used to tell me that.
Yeah.
He'd say, Lynn, you think life's a bowl of cherries. You're going to find out it is.
Oh gosh. Yeah. Yeah. So we'll never get to the point where life is easy.
No.
No. We're always adapting.
We get to a point where we're coasting along this road of life and everything is wonderful. And then, damn,
Yeah.
here it comes again.
Yeah.
And you have to deal with it.
Well, that's the way it was in counseling. Like I feel really good. I work through something. I'm just like, yeah, this is good. And then all of a sudden it was like, oh, here we go. I'd have a really bad dream or something would come, or a family situation or just something would rock my boat. It's like, oh shit, here we go again. So,
And it's just life.
yeah.
It's the way it goes.
Yeah. We'll be changing until we die, adapting and changing. But yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, this was painless.
It was very painless. I've been through worse.